Hi there, my name is Madi and I am a Colorado knitter. This is my YouTube channel that I share about making, knitting, sewing, and then this episode I'll talk a little bit about Flock Fiber Festival. All right, so let's do this thing. I have a pile of fun things to share. I'll try to stay a little organized, so I'll keep glancing down at my notes. But I wanted to share what I've been what I've been making. This is episode 47. It's August 15th, a Friday. My boys have started school back up. It's just crazy times. I have a freshman in high school, a senior in high school, and a senior in college this year. Time seriously does fly by. Let's see. So I'll talk about what I've been working on these past few weeks. If you've been here before, thanks for tuning in. And if you're new, I have a lot of whips all the time. I love casting on and I love trying out new yarns and seeing how it plays and works with patterns and stitches, and sometimes I move on and cast on something else. But I'll talk about specifically what I've been working on since the last episode, and then a few things that I've been sewing. I'll talk about a KAL that's coming, or actually is already in the works, but I'm going to join in. KAL is a knit along, and then a little bit about Flock. I also forgot to grab one more thing. And this is what I usually do. I step away. But this is a good one, and I'll start off with it. Since I stepped away, I was sent by a viewer and friend a couple things to give away. So this is a needle felting kit, and so in this you have supplies for needle felting, some pins. It looks like a felt board, a lot of good stuff. So this will be going out to one of you guys along with this cute gnome. And this is the knitting gnome from Going Gnome. This little guy is the knitting gnome needle felting kit. And then both of these will go together. And it was so kind of this viewer and friend to send this along so I can share it with one of y'all. So in the comments, just write the word kind, K-I-N-D, and the next episode I'll draw a winner from the random number generator from those who commented below. So this cutie, I've made this before and it's a good one, and the instructions are awesome. But thanks for sending this, and I can't wait to share it with one of you guys. Again, enter below K-I-N-D for this giveaway. All right. So we'll start with what I'm wearing. I'm wearing the Callie tunic top. So this is by Closet Core Pattern Writers, and I made mine in a cotton gingham. I think it's called Kitchen Gingham from Matchy Matchy Company. They offer patterns and fabric at their site. All the links that I talk about will be down below, and if you have questions, please reach out. I tend to make plenty of errors during these videos, and sometimes I try to catch them and correct them below, but please don't hesitate to reach out and ask more questions or correct me. But I did make this Callie top with intentions of it being a dress, so it's long, but the Callie has kind of a swoop on the sides, a swoop up, giving it a curve, which is really lovely. I shortened my pattern because I'm a petite 5'1", so I figured it would be too long for me. But with that swoop, it made it pretty short on the sides. So I decided to try it out a little bit like this with jeans. But in the end, I'm not reaching for this very much because I want it to be just a top. So what I'm going to do after this episode is I'm actually going to cut it and just cut to the pattern as it was stated as far as doing it as a top. And I think I'll wear it a whole lot more. But I loved it. This is the third Callie I've made. Never made it in a dress. First, I love the fabric because it does not come out of the dryer very wrinkled. And it was very easy to sew, and it is soft, even though it seems very stable. It's a good thickness, so it's certainly not sheer. I loved it. So I actually ordered more of this kitchen gingham cotton is what it's listed as on Matchy Matchy's website. I did the little placket because even if I have a full button down, I tend to only unbutton the top and then pull it over my head. So I will 100% make more of these Callie tops. I plan to make a long sleeve or a couple long sleeve versions as fall and winter arrive. I did buy the expansion pack, which includes long sleeves. The Callie pattern also has a variety of necklines. This is the first time I think I've done the full collar, and their website has sew-alongs, tutorials, more details, blogs, pictures, so you can kind of get a different idea and some more instructions beyond the pattern of how to do the collar. But I love it. I'm excited to cut it because I think I'll wear it a whole lot more. Okay, I have been picking up some things I started a while ago because sometimes I do get into the state of, oh my gosh, I need to finish some things because I have too many whips going on, and then I kind of hyper focus on those items for a bit and then get closer to finishing them or finish them. So what I really focused on the last couple weeks has been this amazing Faerdy Vest. This is by Gudrun Johnston, and I love it so much. So the bottom, it's cast on bottom up, and this is a vest with intarsia colorwork. So meaning the background colors can change as well as the forefront colors. There is a total, I believe I'm using 6 colors and the pattern requests 7. I just repeated one of the colors. I don't even know where yet, but let me see if I can get there by talking about it more. So bottom up, this brown is Grouse, and I love it. In the daylight, it has a lot of flecks of green and red and burnt orange. And then I do have the colors here. Let's see how well I do this. I'm not going to do it well. So what I'm going to do instead, so you don't just see me reaching down, is I'll list them down below on the show notes so that you can see the colors I used. But I know that my gauge on this vest is 29 stitches per 4 inches, and the requested gauge is 27. So I'm actually making the size 2 version. And they'll give me the circumference that I want, about 35 inches. So it's just awesome color work up till you reach where you want to separate for the arms. And it's a steeked project. So you cast on some stitches under here for the steeks. And now this is the underarm. This is the steek that will be cut for my armhole. And then what happened to me was I knit the entire body, smooth sailing, and then when I got to the steeked area, I actually made an error where I got out of order on my pattern repeats. So what happened to me was that I got scooted over a little bit in my chart. And there is a note in the pattern, so that was all me making the error. But what helped me was to place this marker here, which shows me kind of the beginning of the chart color work repeat for me. So each size is going to be a little different just because there's some decreases going on at the armhole. But in order for me to stay in pattern continuously from the bottom, I did make a note of where my chart starts so that I can kind of go backwards from there and really read and make sure that I'm on track as far as my color work repeat stays in line. But I did frog back the first time I did it about 2 inches pre-steeking stitches, and then made that correction and then put this marker to help me out right there. But I'm in love with these colors. At first I thought, oh, these are new colors for me. They're, you know, I don't use these colors very much, but I totally do. I use these colors a lot, which I love because then it just goes with all things. But I think the one that was new for me was the Chartreuse, which is my pop color. And I knew I wanted to have that color in there. But I'm in love with this. Again, I'm back to smooth sailing because I kind of know where I'm at in the color work. And I'll just keep on plugging away. So I'm pretty much right here. So then I'll have this portion here, the neckline, the armholes, and I'll be done. I'll be ready for a vest for fall. So I highly recommend that vest pattern. It's a fun one. For me, it was easier to start the swatches based on what I wanted to do in this portion here. So if I decided if I wanted the light background in this diamond or the dark, and I chose light. And then I feel like it was a little easier to go out from there to pick my colors. It's not noticeable, but I have 2 browns and 2 tan colors. So the outer portion of these diamonds is actually lighter than the inner, and that inner diamond is a lighter brown. Hopefully that helps. I did talk about this a little bit in a previous video when I was working through my swatches. Let's see. Okay, I think that's all I have about the Faerdy Vest. I love this. I'm gonna use it so much. It's very warm. I've always loved working with Jamieson's Shetland Spindrift. This one's the color Mooskit. But I've always loved it. And I purchased my colors from the Woolly Thistle and from Schoolhouse Press. Both awesome stores. I do have a link, an affiliate link that I'll put down below for Woolly Thistle if you ever decide to use that for any woolly purchases. They don't up the price or anything. There's just a small kickback for me if you use my affiliate link. Okay, so the next thing I worked on a bit was were socks for Donnie. I was using the amazing Woolens and Osh sock yarn, and I only have one right here because I don't know where the other sock is right now. But I do have one full sock, except for the toe, because I need to try them on Donnie. And then I have my second leg here, and I'm at the heel. So this is my second sock. For Donnie, I do use a 72 stitch count for my sock. I cuff down, German twisted cast on. This one I did 2x1 ribbing, which I originally saw on Summer Lee's book. And I just go till I decide not to rib anymore. And then I did the color work on the leg. The color work is not my color work. It's Woolens and Osh Dye's process. She does the beautiful self-striping. And then I use a shadow wrap heel by Earth Tones Girl, and then proceed to the foot. I'm using a US 1 9-inch circular needle on this, and this is my awesome to go, to knit, to walk and knit, to be at a yarn festival and knit, to be in the car and knit project. So I am glad that I'm on the second one. Poor Donnie never gets socks because his feet are so big. But I'm excited about that one, and I'll keep working at that. The other thing I have is a huge pile next to me, but I will reach down for this. I cast on an Isabell Kramer sweater that I'm going to put right here because I'm not totally sure how you pronounce the name of the sweater, but I originally saw this on, I'm going to sneeze. Okay. The Grocery Girls YouTube channel, I believe it was Tracy, was knitting this, and it caught my eye mostly because she commented that she thought it was going to be a good travel knit. So then I thought, okay, that's good. A good travel knit's always good. And then really caught me when she said it's a combination of a circular yoke and raglan increases at the yoke. So that's really was intriguing to me for fit. I don't think I've ever done that before. So at this point I have my circular increases done. And now I'm moving into what will be raglans. And the raglans will be at these stitch markers here because that's the sleeve, which crazy hard to see with a small circular needle and dark yarn. But I couldn't stop wondering about how linen quill would do for this project. So I have quite a few of these sweaters in this linen quill color. It is Kettle Black, not cracked pepper, and it is the amazing Purl Soho linen quill, and I love this color. It's my favorite color of linen quill. And the white is actually High Country wool from Hugh Loco, also has a woolly yarn company that's called High Country Wool, and this is a fingering weight, a little bit floofier than the linen quill, so a little denser in those stripes, but I'm pretty excited about this. This is a dipped stitch pattern, which has been super enjoyable. You do cut the white after each section of dip stitches because it's quite a deep stripe of dark yarn. And so there'll be some ends, but the dip stitch is super fun to do, very easy to read, you know where you're at. So right now I'm kind of in the thinking and need to keep track of numbers because I'm doing the raglan increases every so often, but soon I'll be splitting for the sleeves and then it'll be a piece of cake. I did knit on this a little bit in Seattle during the flock event. I was hoping to have it to the body by the event, but I didn't. But I'm really loving the texture, the feel. It's my 24 stitches for 4 inches go-to for linen quills, so that was fun to know that that's my gauge already. I believe I will reach for this a ton. Designed, the neck is a little wider, so I did cast on with a long tail cast on and on a really small needle in hopes that it'll kind of come in, but I'm not sure if it's going to distort this area of the dip stitches, so we'll have to see how that plays out. But love it, love it, love it. Let's see, I think that's all on that. And if people have tips on how to pronounce that, I would love to know. The other thing I was working on, as fall approaches and like I want a short sleeve button up, but then I kind of want a cardigan in the morning or in the afternoon or the evening. And so I picked up my Comebackigan again. This one is by Andrea Mowry, and I'm knitting it with the awesome North Bay Fibers in the color Algae. And I purchased this when it just came out. North Bay Fiber had a kit of this heritage sport, which is 100% Targhee polypay wool. It's awesome. I love working with it. It's a fantastic yarn. So what I did, I was at a stage of just repeat to make the length of the body, which I'm still not quite there, but I ran out of that ball of yarn, so I haven't wound up another one yet. So you knit from the bottom up flat, in this fun texture, which is very easy to remember and read. It's a 2-row repeat, giving this awesome texture. I really love it. And then, so first I was reaching the body, which again, I think I have another inch or so to do. And I had originally swatched by starting the arm. It does have option for pockets, and that's kind of the idea of your swatch that you can use. But I'm not going to do pockets on this because I didn't want to interrupt the awesome stitch pattern. But I also worked on the sleeve because it's an easy one where I knew where I was at to watch TV with the guys or hang out with everybody while I worked on this a little bit. And so I have shorter arms, so I'm not totally sure on how much length I'm due. I'm at about 14.5 inches, and the pattern recommends 17 inches. So I just have this little bit left for this skein of yarn, so I may finish this up and then put it on hold, and then wind up another skein for the next sleeve. So I've kind of feel like I've been focusing on the projects a little bit. Luckily, I've stopped them at a good place where it was easy to pick up again, but I want to wear them, so I'm kind of excited about the combos. And this is why I laugh, because sometimes I'm using all very similar tones and colors, even though I think, ooh, this is out of my normal colorway, but it tends to be what I'm into at the moment. Highly recommend Comebackigan. I really love it. I'm excited to wear it. Okay. I mentioned in the beginning that I was going to talk about a knit along. The knit along is hosted by Gudrun Johnston on her Ravelry page, which I'll link below. And you can double dip with Woolly Thistle. They have a sweater KAL going on. The only catch with the Woolly Thistles knit along is that there is a request to use a percentage of yarn from their shop. It doesn't have to be newly purchased yarn from their shop, but a good percentage from their shop. But you can enjoy this knit along either way, or just for a fun activity to just knit it. Oftentimes I forget to enter knit alongs, but I'm knitting along. So this is what I'm gonna do. Vair is such a cute sweater. It was in one of Gudrun's books initially, and I believe now it's available on Ravelry. This is my swatch, which I'm very thrilled with. So the Vair sweater has a bottom option of I think it's called something shell lace, which it's a 2-row repeat, and I was thrilled about that because I didn't know. Sometimes my mind has a little block with lace and I can't get the repeat down until really deep into the project, but luckily this is a 2-row repeat. And there's an option to have the body solid or to have it striped. I'm going to do solid in this birch brown, which I adore browns. And so I'm going for solid on the bottom with this lace motif. And then the color work is, I believe it's kind of like maybe chest up. And this is my color work pattern, and I'm happy with it. This one's a little different from maybe the vest because the background color continues to be the brown, where in the vest you do change the background color a bit. So this one is not too tricky as far as picking colors, and it's very fun. I have the flower, I have 2 different blues here, and I may or may not, go for a lighter blue right here in the middle of this flower, but I haven't decided. But I love this burnt umber on top. Again, I'll put all the names of the spindrift I used on this swatch down below. They were all purchased from the Woolly Thistle. All right, so that's a KAL sweater knit along, hosted again by Gudrun on Ravelry, and then you could double dip with the Woolly Thistle sweater knit along. Okay, so some sewing aside from my Callie top. I I love sewing and knitting and making because it's like a little puzzle that you get to get very into and think about and try to figure out. And I really do love that. And then I love that the connections I've made via Instagram, YouTube, festivals, making. It's really fun to have that common connection. So what I tried to do was make a pair of shop pants. Shop like S-H-O-P. Who are they from? The minute I see it, I'll be like, oh yeah. Shop pants are... It's like when you can look at it for 3 seconds and then you get frazzled and then you can't find it. I feel like it just popped up. Where did it go? Oh my goodness. I mean, I will link it below, but at this point, I feel like I now need to find it for sure. Oh Lord. Shop pants. Somebody is yelling at me, telling me what they are. I definitely feel like I need to get more organized on how I keep my patterns because it's sometimes a pain to find for me. But it's, again, all my distracted self. Open Studios. Open Studio shop pant. And this is fabric denim that I've used before for So Liberated pinion pants. This is denim from Ewe Fibers online, and I was really happy with the progress. I even did do a muslin, so a toile, trying to get the fit. I was probably very half effort on the toile. I was like, yeah, it's fine, it's good. But a couple things that I did the pockets reversed by accident. And so, but I do kind of like the two-tone. So this is the back of this denim. So it's lighter. I did use some grommets, which I've had from Closet Core for many years. And that's what the button is also from. Since I had made that error for the front pocket, I did do the fold over on the back to try to give that light look also, like I did here. Now, as far as fit, I love how they are. I struggle often with getting the right waistband fit. So it had me searching like different blogs, different videos, different learning on how to sew a proper waistband on pants, because everything else fits awesome. And then on these, I put the waistband on at the end. Again, not the pattern company or writer's fault. It's user error. So my problem is that I get the right fit if my waistband is stable and fits well. So since I went down a rabbit hole on searching how pants are supposed to fit and how to get the best fit, I fell down the top down center out idea, which I will link the videos below. I don't think I've ever experienced such a very organized presentation on this idea of fit. I mean, the YouTuber has like small visuals of pattern pieces and how they're fitting and drawings, and it's just so clear, unreal. It's completely not the way my brain is and how I present things to you guys because I'm a zoo. But I can't even, I want you to go watch, even if you don't even want to know the idea of top down, center out, or don't want to make pants, but the videos are so good. So I will direct you to those. But my idea, since these shop pants have a pleat back here, I think I'm going to try to remove the waistband and try again. So I did put button loops, and they fit with a belt, but I figured, why not? Just undo the waistband, make a new waistband, just the waistband, and see if I can get a snug, stable fit, and then fit the pant into the waistband by adjusting here at these pleats. If it didn't have the pleats, it would be a little tricky to do at this stage of the game, but with the pleats, I think maybe I could at least adjust it a little bit. I am definitely not, I'm kind of square, so I don't have like a small waist and then wide hips. I have like ribs, waist, hips. Maybe ribs, waist, a little bit more hips. But I definitely want to try this. So we'll see how it goes. If anyone has ideas, links, more research that I can learn from on fit, I really, really, really want to kind of slow down the process on these and see if I can play with it a little bit more, because I feel like this is such a great pant that I would wear all the time if I could get the right fit. And I love this. It's like where the bottom has this piece where you could add a color or add embroidery or anything like that. But it makes it kind of barrel in at the bottom, which I also love. So we'll see. I'll keep you posted on top down, center out. I do want to slow down a little bit on my pant making to really find a better waist fit, and then go from there for the rest, because I think the idea is if your waist is stable, your waistband is stable, and the way you designed the rest of it to fit, it'll stay in that position, versus if your waist is wonky, then the front sort of wrinkles and the back droops, on and on. So we'll see how it goes. Again, go check out those videos. I wish my brain worked that smoothly and orderly. It's amazing. Practice. I'll practice. Let's see if there's anything else I could mention. The pattern writing is awesome. Again, there's Open Studio has a website, and they have a sew along for these pants where it walks you through videos of all the steps. So fun, and so fun to be able to make pants. I'm excited to keep working on these and kind of slow down and get the right fit. Let's see what else. Oh, I have a really exciting make that I tried out all weekend at Flock. Traveled with it on the airplane, drug it through Seattle, took it on the ferry, took it on hikes, and it didn't fall apart, and it was so comfortable. It still has stuff in it. So Clum House, Klum, has bag making kits and instruction videos and classes. It's a woman-owned business in Portland, Oregon. So I'll link them below. But this gorgeous bag I made before Flock, and it's a tote bag with an outer pocket that's magnetic in wax canvas. Yeah, wax canvas. And this is black with chestnut straps. All the hardware comes pre-punched. You have the leather comes pre-punched, and then all the hardware pieces come with it, so it's ready to hammer in. But my favorite part is that when you want it to be, it's a backpack. And I'm a big backpack person. I kind of get annoyed with the strap of a bag, or if it's falling, or even sometimes it annoys me going across my chest, which I'm definitely a crossbody person. But the backpack was perfection. So my suitcase is a backpack. So then during the airport, I had it as a tote. But then once my suitcase was dropped off and I had the day-to-day activities, I was using it as a backpack. Initially, the leather was kind of stiff, a little scratchy, but it has already patinaed a bit and it's softened. It didn't bug me at all. And you can adjust quite a few. I have it on the smallest, I think, yeah. but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 different slots you could have adjusted in. Inside, it has one big pocket divider, and then it's a zip top. If I made it again, which I probably will, I would add a small zippered pocket back here, just to keep my phone and wallet a little closer to my body. I tend to have my phone in my pocket, but I wouldn't mind having that option where it zips back here, where it's close to my side as a tote or my backpack. But check out Clum House, Klum. Amazing products. I plan to make their bigger backpack that has the water bottles on the side, water bottle holders, and this one is called the Maywood. It's a tote pack. I did think that I would, so all this is as designed. All the, again, these holes are punched into the leather already with, you can buy supplies for hammering. You can buy the tools to finish off. So these hammered portions are finished this way, where it flares out to hold it kind of in a star shape. I think it's called like a peening tool, but they sell that if you need it. What I did think was, I didn't know if the width between these shoulder straps would be too wide for me. And it does sit maybe on the more outer portion of my shoulders, but it didn't fall off at all. It was comfortable and fine. So I didn't know if in the future I would need to bring them in a little bit, but I don't think I do. Awesome. They're awesome bags. In fact, I plan on testing a new small pouch that they have coming out in September. Let's see what else. Next on the sewing table, I have another collared shirt. This one does not have a button band. This is called the Donny Shirt, and it's from Friday Pattern Company. And this is, I did this portion yesterday. Again, it's the same fabric. It is matchy kitchen gingham cotton in a lighter blue. I've made this top before I realized that I wasn't scaling my pattern pieces to 100%. So I'm trying it again. My initial ones were okay, but I felt like this V was really low. So I'm trying it again with the scale correct and see if that helps. And I'm making the extra small. There is a chance that this is also going to be too low, but if it is, I'm going to whip stitch a little bit higher. But I'll know if that's the case. I think that's the benefit of a button placket, as you can adjust as you need. But this is a cutie, so I still need the sleeves. Right now it has the back on the outer yoke. Then you'll burrito method it to get the seams inside finished. One thing to note on the Donny is this center seam right here. This entire portion here is a seam where like it would be a button placket on a button down. So if you have patterned pieces, keep that in mind as you would want to line that up as best you can. I did have to fudge my seam line a few times to get it to be less distracting of a line. But I think as long as this V isn't too deep, I think I'll use this a lot. So this is what I hope to finish after I vacuum today. All right, now I want to talk about Flock Fiber Festival and what I purchased there and the fun we had. If you guys have heard enough about Flock or just rather step away at this point, the rest will be about Flock Fiber Festival that was in Seattle the first week of August. All right, so I had mentioned before that I had signed up to volunteer at Flock again. The very first time I went was last year, and I did volunteer and I had a great time. This year they had so many people sign up to volunteer, which is awesome that they didn't have space for everyone to volunteer, which worked out just fine because I got to enjoy Bainbridge on Friday. So I This year I went a day early. I arrived Thursday, and then Friday morning I got to enjoy friends and time on Bainbridge Island. Pacific Coast Knitter gave us all the local insights and was generous to drive, so thank you so much. Let's see, we got to catch the ferry, and it was a beautiful sunny day in Seattle. And then when we got to Bainbridge, we saw knitters everywhere, and we got to get a coffee, which I always will be willing to drink coffee. And then we saw designers, we saw knitters, we saw bag makers. It's so fun to actually meet the person behind the design, behind the yarn, behind the bags. It's amazing. So much work, and these people are awesome. We got to see Shop La Mercerie. It's a gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful shop. Thank you for knitters who stopped me, said that they watched my podcast. Thank you so much. It really was fun to meet everybody and to talk to people and hear where you're from. It's just, thank you for stopping me and saying hi, because it was really, it really filled my heart. And we also got to go to a fabric shop that had awesome apparel fabric. We went to Lomond Kid, which Lomond Kid is a beautiful shop, which of course I knew the yarn was beautiful, but I didn't expect like the background walls were like a dark green kind of, and it really made the colors that they carry pop. They have a whole wall of windows. It was a beautiful shop. We got some lunch to take to Bloedel Reserve, I believe. I think I'll link it below because I don't want to mess up describing this amazing place. But Pacific Coast Knitter, she knew about it and drove us there. We had a lovely walk. You could see the water. It was stunning. And then we had a yummy lunch. And on the way back on the ferry, we got to see Mount Rainier and all its glory. So from the water to a 14,000 foot mountain, just awesome. I mean, I could have stared at it all the time. I went to school in Tacoma, Washington, and I definitely remember the days Mount Rainier were out it took your breath away. So that was awesome to see. Let's see. That evening I got to visit with more friends that I met in person last year. Prof Purl, Botanical Knitter, Fiber MacGyver folks, Melissa from Stitches Be Slippin'. So we got to knit a little bit on the rooftop of the hotel. It was awesome. Then let's see, Saturday morning we took a little walk to Pike's Market. The flowers there smell extraordinary. We got a coffee at Storyville. I walked to a stationery shop called Mochi Things. I love stationery and notebooks and pens. And then I wandered into Flock, and it's awesome every time. I was able to say hello to some folks who watch this channel, and they made my day. I loved chatting, hearing where you're from, hearing where you visited, hearing about your families. I love that multiple friends were there with their daughter. It was so fun. And I really thank you again, because I get so excited to meet you in person, and then I get to follow you on Instagram and keep up with you. So then let's see, the very first purchase I made, I'll go into purchases now. Remember though, everybody, the vendors, the organizers, the dyers, all these creative people are working their butts off to get to these events and vend and have patience. And a lot of time we're all introverts, so then we're put into these awkward situations. But I'm astonished by all the hard work all these folks put into this, and I'm excited to share what I got. All right, the very first purchase I made, which I've raved about these before, is the Maker's Notebook. I've used this before. I love mine, and I was ready for a new one. And I got this green version. This is the very first purchase I got. The Maker's Notebook is, let's see if I have a picture that I could put. I'm also going to view my pictures to kind of remind me of order, because I can go all over the place. I went back too far on my pictures. I'm pretty sure it's making things, but let me make sure. Let's see if it says on here. Oh my gosh, I stalled out. I needed more coffee. I don't see my picture, but this Maker's Notebook is for making treasures. It's right here the whole time. But I purchased from them before. I love them so much. I got to see her new little baby. So these notebooks, I can't even get over. They're beautifully done. And I'm going to actually use mine for sewing and knitting this year. And so this is kind of how the page layout goes. And the green is so pretty. But the page layout is project plans. It talks about, it has a space for the pattern, the designer, who I made it for, the size, the gauge, needle size, all those things which could work for sewing as well. And then it has an entire page here that's just empty for notes. And then the back is also open for note taking. So what I also kind of want to do is journal about maybe what's happening during that time of making, which we all know that there's so many stories behind each stitch and where we were in the world and the life that we get to live through. So I also plan on using the back pages for my podcasting notes. It does have this amazing ribbon here for place markers. And then in the back, it even has like notes for yarn stash, where it talks about the brand, the colorway, base, quantity. So there's charts like this if you wanted to use that. I actually plan to have a mega D-stash on Colorado Knitter D-stash. It gives you some, like, you can even put your needle sizes that you have as far as inventory. It talks about the different sizes, so some charts. It has some common pattern abbreviation, yarn weights, wraps per inches for spinning, so you could even record spinning projects. And then you can even enter in this last page your measurements. But it's a great resource. I've always loved this paper. And I'm excited to start a new one for 2026. So I'll be doing this journal along with Hobonichi Weeks when they come out at the end of the month. So that was my first purchase. Let me get back to my notes since I got distracted by all of my pictures. Okay, so I have one bag here that was Saturday. This is Saturday's purchases. Le Garçon. Awesome people, dyers, artists, designers. But I stopped there after I purchased my Maker's Notebook and bought these 3 gorgeous colors of their British Decay. This is Alex Red Squirrel Friend. I need to learn the story behind this. And then this one is the Marl of Alex and Jonathan. And this one is Jonathan's Soft Days. And he has a podcast. And this awesome stitch marker was gifted by a friend. It says yarn. It's so cute. I believe she made them. And so when I went back to the hotel, I saw how beautiful this red was. So you'll see Sunday I went back. The idea behind this was to make the cabin beanie, I think it's called. I'll put it up here so I don't take too much of your time by searching, but it's by Max the Knitter, and that was the idea with these three until I went back and saw this gorgeous red. And my goal was to try to look at colors, because in person it's so much nicer to see a color than online. It's really hard for me to pick. I've mentioned before, I can kind of look, I have a yellow undertone, so sometimes picking colors is not terribly easy online. So I wanted to make sure I pick some colors in person. The next thing that's in this bag is, I knew I wanted to go to San Juan Woolworks, not Woodworks, and Skagit yarn, because they're local to the area. So Skagit Woolen Works, this gorgeous fur oak sock yarn, and it's a limited edition from farm to skein, a unique cross of Suffolk and Romney from Fur Oak Farm on San Juan Island. Then I'm gonna make socks with this. So I'm actually planning on the cute socks that were released for the camp fiber, let's see, the Farmer's Daughter Fibers camp socks. Again, picture right there because it's not in there. And then I got San Juan Woolworks Rifle, which is down and long wool sock yarn. So the main sock will be this, and this is the contrast. And it's very woolly wool for socks, but I want them to be really warm. So these are gonna be my camp hardworking socks. Again, it's from Mount Vernon, Washington, which I love. So that was my local purchase. Then I feel like once you make one purchase, the floodgates open and you feel free to make all the purchases. The lovely Making Treasures gifted me these post notes, which are always great. And they're actually really nice for the podcast, because I forget things so much that sometimes I even forget to write it down. But it gives you a pattern, a location for pattern, name, weight of yarn, gauge, materials, such as that. So thank you. Then I love Hide and Hammer, and I got to see them in person. I don't think I've ever seen Hide and Hammer bags in person, but this magical number, this is Hide and Hammer, their website. And this, so you unclip and slide out. What? So it has a place to place your double points. You could put your cords here. And so the double points go in here. Let's see if I have one. This one's not loose, but pretend this didn't have, or you could even put the whole thing in here like that. But the idea is you just put your tips in here and then the cords in here for like the quick outing or weekend away, where this time I only took a US 5 and a US 6 and some cords with me. But I love how the actual cover, the snap, is part of what slides out. So you're not trying to reach in the whole time. It just easily comes out. So adore, and always the leather is so nice. So that, and I can never not buy a Hide and Hammer bag, because I use these so much. So much. Because you can hang them on your chair, you can hang them on your wrist, you can open it. I actually open it like this more than fiddling with this portion, but you can make it as snug or as long as you want. It's kind of like the lunch bag idea. I know you've seen these so many times, but I loved the color and the combo with the dark brown. This size is the number 8. I think it's the smaller one. I can fit a lot in the smaller one. And if I'm walking around, I kind of like the smaller. So I went with that. All right, that was Saturday. That's a lot. Just wait till Sunday. Sunday, again, I went back with the definite plan of this. And Saturday, I didn't go to the festival until afternoon, and so I didn't make it through all the vendors. It was very much a zigzag loop-de-loop for me, enjoying everybody and listening to some of the fiber talks. I think Saturday, Candace from the Farmer's Daughter spoke, and it was wonderful. In fact, those are making conversations. I will link the website or the YouTube channel below, because these interviews that were held at Flock and free for us to listen to and enjoy will be posted on YouTube, so you'll get to enjoy those as well. Let's see. So I knew I was going back for more of this, because I will be making, as of today, I'll be making the So Basic DK by Maxim Steer, Max the Knitter, in this red. So I got a sweater's quantity of the red, and I do not regret any purchases. I'm excited about all of them because I can't even get over this red. It's so pretty. The British DK is, the base is 70% BFL wool and 30% Masham wool, non-superwash. But the color is awesome. So I got, like I said, a sweater quantity of that. Yay! And then, let's see what else. It's in, I tried to keep them separate. I haven't looked through or unpacked so that I could show you guys. And it is Friday, so it's been sitting here for a while. So the biggest vendor I definitely wanted to see was Viking Fiber Co., and I didn't get to see him Saturday. So I was so happy to go back on Sunday and purchase my sweater quantity from him. Their booth was stunning. So Viking Fiber Co. is a Colorado yarn. Whoop, whoop. And they made all their displays, like even the checkout stand, all of these were hung on dowels. It was stunning. It was such a beautiful display, and I can't believe they made everything from scratch. And drove all the way. Like I said, these folks are working so hard to make these events happen, and I really hope that they felt appreciated and loved them, because so many were impressed, and everyone was so kind and excited. But going back to the yarn. So this is thread sock. I knew I wanted non-superwash, and this is a non-superwash US grown 80% Shaniko, which I've spun with and love. Fine wool, 20% US grown mohair, and 425 yards. And so I have 4 of these. Oof, I'm not gonna try to say that name. But this color, I had them pick the color because I get a little nervous about color, but I wanted a color, so I didn't want to just go neutral. So this is the same color, and this one is the Surrey alpaca. So it's gonna be a fluffy guy. And this is 74% Surrey alpaca and 26% silk. And what I want to make is the Lad cardigan that was just released by Boylan Knits. I feel like it would look fun with kind of some really slouchy, worn out jeans. I just have this idea in my head. So we'll see if this is what it becomes, but my idea for now is the Lad, L-A-D-D cardigan with this. Yay, it's so nice. I love this wool and this color. Let's see what else is in my Sunday bag. Oh, and then he gave me the Viking Fiber Co. gave me this Stash Monster, because that's very appropriate for me. And then I did stop at Denim and Rain. Never seen them in person. Let's see. And this is the Denim and Rain. And I love the stitch markers. And I got the little one that has Washington on there for a memory. one more thing. The last thing I purchased is in my Klum bag. Oh my gosh, I wonder if you could see the table carton growing towards the camera. My last purchase that I could not resist, and I kept running into this lovely woman who I saw at La Mercerie, and then I saw her at the booth, and then we kept deciding on colors together. She was great. But this is Shaddix from the amazing Fiber MacGyver people. Loved meeting them for the first time in person. Such fun folks and beautiful sewists. It was just great. So this is, again, Shaniko. I think I have a theme for the weekend. And at first I was thinking of, what's it called? Oh my gosh. Oh, Musselburgh hat. But I may do a spur hat instead. Mostly because I know that I'm not a great finisher of long projects. So I'm afraid that I will bonk doing a Musselburgh. But maybe not. Maybe it would become my in my bag, purse, walk, car knit. But I love, 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 love the color. Again, it's Shaddix. And they say I was after a good friend, I believe. Let's see what else I can say. One thing I wanted to note was that oh, here, I found my other sock. Oh, there's more stuff in here. Okay, so this is what I bought from the Farmer's Daughter. Candace had a gorgeous display and a beautiful talk about Sisters United program. So I encourage you to check that out online. I will place the links below. And she had great advice on how to learn more about the community. And one of the ways that she actually recommended was reading. And she had a wonderful display of different books available. And I'm excited to read more of the books that she has recommended. And she does have a book club that she hosts with a Discord page. Again, I'll link those below. They're also noted on Instagram in case you choose to follow or look her up on Instagram. Let's see what else is in here, because I want to show you this bag that has saved me many times. I just have my water bottle, my charger, and Donnie's other sock. I told you I didn't unpack this because I didn't want to forget anything. And chocolate. Okay, so this bag has saved me. I'm a big carry-on luggage person. Here's my mochi bag for my stationery. So I'm a carry-on person, and I have it's not small, but it's a Cotopaxi carry-on like backpack. Because I actually don't like the wheels because I'm crooked doing that, so I rather have it on my back even. So, but what has saved me, because I had this carry-on and my Cotopaxi backpack going, but then what if you buy all this stuff? How are you gonna bring it back? So this bag is been to Rhinebeck with me now and has been to Flock with me. The reason is because it opens up to be that huge duffel, so I put my Klum backpack in this along with my purchases. But on the way to the event, I just had the quick fear that this wasn't recording, so I hope it's recorded. But this is how small it gets. So this was in my Cotopaxi backpack on the way when I didn't have all my purchases with me. And then to bring it back, I open it up and it all fits beautifully, and I still carried on. So highly recommend. This is the label on it. I feel like I've seen it recently listed as something else, but I will find the link for sure. But look at how tiny. So this has just been in my bag. And I've taken it now to 2 festivals. So I thought I would share. All right. I think this is the longest one ever. As far as finishing up a couple books, I did finish listening to Wally Lamb's The River something. I feel like when you don't look at the cover all the time, it's easy to forget the titles. The River is Waiting by Wally Lamb, a heartbreaking story, and I did just finish that. And then I finished Dolores Claiborne by Stephen King. And I've had a few other recommendations of Stephen King books recently, so I'm excited to look into those. Currently, I'm listening to Beartown and meeting with folks up at Flock. I got a whole list of fun listens and reads, and I'm going to be starting this pretty soon. So, very excited about all the things. I hope you guys are having a good one. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I love sharing. I love meeting you guys in person, and truly, truly, truly really loved meeting you. And if I get to meet some more of you in the future, I hope to. All right. Have a good one. See ya.